Beware, knitters, spinners, and crocheters across the land. The midnight hour is at hand. If you dare, pull up a chair as we weave tales of sheep's hair. We'll count down the terrors 3 to celebrate All Hallows Eve. Ha 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 ha!
Here we go.
All right, welcome to Let's Knit the Road. We are counting down the, top 3 scariest things for knitters and crocheters and fiber artists today.
Yeah, so today it's all about our Halloween special stuff. It's a specialty episode.
It's a Halloween celebration, right? Today is Halloween.
Yes. So we're doing the nightmares of knitters.
Yes. Crocheters, fiber artists, all the things. Yeah. So I'm Jen, and I'm a fiber artist. I've been doing it since I was about 8 years old, and I like knit, crochet, spin, weave, all of the fibery things. So stuff like that.
And I'm Lauren. I'm a crochet novice, and I do some of the editing and the video stuff for the podcast and write the music and stuff like that.
Awesome.
It looks like we have a backseat knitter on the couch with us today. We got Zoe. Oh, we can't see her.
Yeah, bring Zoe over. There's Zoe.
She said, I didn't know I was going to be on a podcast today, or else I would have worn something spoopy.
Well, today we have the black light on, so that's why we look a little wacky. We've got our shawls and scarves.
We're Halloween decked out.
That's right. Yep.
Awesome.
And then we have this little guy that I made. Well, I didn't make the actual ceramic piece, but I painted it.
It's very spooky.
It is. It's really cute.
The Halloween tree.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. All right, so let's start with number 3.
Number 3. I think a lot of times with knitting and crocheting, we worry about frogging.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's like, to frog or not to frog.
Yeah, do you want to keep those mistakes and just deal with it, or do you just want to frog it?
Ribbit, 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 rope.
That's one of the things that's hard to decide, you know. How much is this little like misstitch or this like mistake gonna bother me? And you know, fortunately there's lots of ways to fix it, right?
Yeah.
So,
sometimes you can pick the stitches up or fix them within the knitting and not have to frog it. But I feel like when you first start knitting, frogging is a really scary thing, right? Or crocheting too, because then you lose your spot.
yeah.
If you can't read your knitting very well, you lose your spot.
Because I know when I was working on, because this is like my first finished object, I know when I was working on this, there were times when I was like, should I frog the whole section because it's not the same size as another section, even though I did the same number of stitches, you know?
Yeah, just because the yarn was different.
Yeah, it's like, because since it's a scrappy piece, like every yarn is just that slight difference there. But when we blocked it, it was fine. So that's another option too, is to block it. And sometimes you can hide mistakes by kind of blocking it to be the same size.
Yeah, and then you're going to be wearing it anyway. So if I had a million mistakes on this, you probably wouldn't notice. I'm sure I do have mistakes in here. And you would never know.
Yeah.
Because it's on my body. No one's going to be looking at all the mistakes.
Exactly.
So, just depends.
Now there's also the accidental frogging.
Does happen.
You know, I know for us, we've got some fiber enthusiasts that are four-legged.
Yes, we do. I think a lot of people have those.
Yeah. So sometimes, you know, a ball of yarn might turn into a cat toy for a hot second, or like, you know, when Zoe's cuddling, sometimes her foot gets caught or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's something else that can happen, is the accidental frogging. Is there anything you can do to, like, maybe help you figure out where you left off?
Yeah, so I think the longer you do knitting and crocheting or anything like that, you're going to know how to read where you are in the pattern. So, like, for instance, when I was working on my lace shawl, if I accidentally lost a few stitches, I could go back a few rows and kind of find out where I was based on what stitches were there. That's kind of the easiest way, but it takes time to learn that. So you can't really know right away.
Yeah. Well, and there's also stitch markers, right?
Yeah, stitch markers could work, but if they fall out, then you're kind of...
That's true.
You're kind of out of luck there. But that works too. Or a progress keeper may be able to tell you where you are. If you, like, you know, mark your spot a week before or a couple days before or every day. I don't know. There's many ways, but... Okay, so I guess our second...
I think it's more of like a 3-2 or like a 3B.
Okay, so a 2-in-1.
Yeah, so it
would be yarn chicken.
Yeah.
Yarn chicken sounds really silly, which it is really silly, but it can also be very scary if you don't know if you have enough yarn. So if you're like down to like the last 3 rows and you've got so much, hopefully you make it, right?
Right. So you're kind of like racing against the yarn and like the project and making sure you make it to the end.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess the biggest thing to do to prevent that from happening is to like try and have
buy extra yarn.
Yeah, buy extra yarn, or I guess write down like what kind of yarn you're using.
Yeah, the easiest thing is to buy enough or extra just to be sure, because of course, which we haven't talked about this yet, but there's different dye lots in every yarn or every skein of yarn that you buy. So even if you buy that from like a big company, like even Red Heart, which a lot of people don't. Many of our viewers may not use Red Heart, but that's okay. That's a good example. If you buy a thing of Red Heart Super Saver, even the red could be a different red in a different lot that they manufactured. And that's the same with hand dye. Yeah,
that sounds like it would be really, that's like a big risk that you're running, you know?
Yeah.
So like yarn chicken could be, but you know, it's one of those things where I feel like there's only happy accidents, or like, you know.
You can make it work for sure.
Yeah, there's ways to make it work.
Yeah. You can always use a different yarn to like do the edging or ribbing or whatever you're going to do. So
yeah,
there's solutions. It's just can be a little frightening if you don't have enough yarn. So
let's see. So I guess we should move on to the second nightmare, which is knitworthiness.
Knitworthiness. That's a really big one. When you're making things for people, right?
Yeah.
What is knitworthiness? Do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does being knitworthy mean? That means that you will, when you give a gift to someone, it means they really enjoy the gift and wear it and cherish it, right? We've all been in the situation where we've made something for someone and they don't really appreciate what you did and how long you took on it and how much, well, the yarn costs a lot of money to begin with these days. And then you spent at least probably 5 to 10, maybe even a lot more time on the project. And sometimes people don't really appreciate that.
Like the biggest example that comes to mind for me is the White Elephant episode of The Office.
Of course.
Where Phyllis makes like an oven mitt for Michael and he just hates it so much that he like turns it into Yankee Swap or White Elephant. And kind of ruins the Christmas party.
Yeah.
But like the point is that, you know, Phyllis took the time and Michael was not knitworthy, like at all. Because he was just like, this thing's terrible.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one example.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I know I've heard about is the knitter's curse.
Yes, the knitter's curse is very much real, according to many knitters around the world. The knitter's curse is when, basically, it's if you make something for someone who you're dating before you get married, you end up breaking up before the project is finished. So I never made you anything. Actually, I still haven't made you anything.
Yeah, still
We
nothing.
just got married.
But there's still time.
There's still time, but I'm so sorry, nothing yet.
It's okay. Well, you know, the Button Band wrote a song about the knitter's curse. So the Button Band really got hung up on this idea of it being a curse. I tried to inform them and educate them that, like, it's not like the devil does this, but, you know, they're buttons and they kind of do whatever buttons want to do. And so
this is true.
So it's not really so much about El Diablo, but it is about, like, you know, well, you know, what I was reading online is that it particularly is about, like, sweaters and how long it takes to make a sweater.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I would say, like, it might be okay to knit something for someone that you've been with for a long time but aren't married to. But it's more like knowing if that person's going to be around by the time, because how long does it normally take to knit a sweater?
It can take anywhere from like a month to a few months. A month is really fast. People do it all the time, though.
That's impressive.
It is impressive. I've done. Ouch.
Oh, kitten's joining.
Hi, kitten. Meow.
We have another backseat knitter.
We have 5 pets. We just got a new baby, and it's a betta fish.
He's so cute.
Yes.
Jinx Monsoon.
Jinx Monsoon.
It's monsoon season.
And I think Toby might be coming over too.
Yep, here comes Toby.
So yeah, we have 2 cats and 2 dogs and a fish.
Yeah, Samson is in the bedroom, being good.
We hope.
Hopefully. But we have one more.
The final
nightmare.
Scary thing. Scariest knitting moments. You ready?
I'm ready.
So my scariest thing that's ever happened, or worst thing that's ever happened as a knitter, is moths getting into my knits.
Blasted demon spawn.
Because if a moth gets in, then they can destroy your sweat. I've had Icelandic sweaters that I've made be destroyed by a hungry moth. It's really sad and irritating.
So I think that sounds awful, because you could lose like your whole yarn stash. You could lose like projects. What are some ways to deter those little demons?
Well, you can use what's the wood?
Cedar?
Cedar, yeah, like a cedar chest, people say, but they're cedar chips. I've never really tried to use those though. I'm sure they work great. We'll have to see if anyone knows. If you know anything, comment. Because I would like to know that. Also, just like kind of checking on your stuff from time to time. Because I will. Oh, here comes Kitten.
Kitten's checking it out.
What were we saying? Moths. Cedar chips or cedar chest to put it in, or just like checking on your knits and your yarn from time to time. Because like sometimes even like I saw a moth in the kitchen yesterday.
Oh no!
I know.
That's terrible. We can't have moths in this house.
It's horrible.
We can't have those.
No, we cannot have that. So yeah, just checking on things, right?
Yeah. Well, do mothballs do anything?
They smell so bad.
That's true. I wouldn't want any of my stuff to smell like mothballs. I'd rather it smell like cedar.
Yeah, cedar smells good. So I don't know. I had wool given to me that had mothballs stored. Like they stored the mothballs with the wool, and it smelled really terrible.
Oh yeah, then you probably wouldn't even want to wear it.
No, or when you wash it, I guess it would be fine, but it's not fun to work with.
No.
But if anyone has any suggestions about moths, please, leave us a comment, because that's the worst thing that's ever happened in my knitting career. Is my things getting eaten by moths. It's so sad.
That is sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think those were our top 3.
Well, thanks for joining us this time. This was a really short episode just for Halloween, just to have a little extra fun.
Yeah.
But we're going to do something on the road here soon, going to another festival or a yarn shop. If you have any suggestions for us, especially around the Ohio area, please let us know so we can go visit.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to having you hitch a ride next time, and yeah, have a happy Halloween.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.